Okay, so I've been saying I was going to make this video. If you're getting my emails, the story, I've made one about this before, but I can't find it. And since this is Until It Goes Click from the Big Lebowski, where the purple jumpsuit Jesus, he said he'd stick his gun up their ass and pull the trigger until it goes click, right? Yeah, they're at the bowling alley. You got to let the pins set themselves up before you can roll a strike. Well, that's what Daniel from the Bible did. Daniel is God's a con artist, obviously, and he's really good at entrapping Nazi scumbags who are using cinnamon, which makes my lips swell up after the abduction of Buck and Adeline's Field. Blah blah blah. Right? Probably getting tired of hearing all that, but I got to be real thorough here with this water. So listen closely. So we had at Alvin High School when I was a sophomore, we had a riot one time because they were about to implement a dress code, and all of the students were like, "Screw your dress code. We ain't gonna have no freaking dress code. We want to wear whatever the hell we want. This is America, right?" and that was literally, dress code at a public school. Screw that shit. You wear whatever you want. Right? So they're getting ready to come out with this dress code and all this shit. And we planned a walkout, right? It was just a walkout where everybody gets up out of class at a certain time and you all walk out of the classroom at the same time, and very covertly planned this walkout. And it happened. It actually worked. Everybody got up, walked out of the classroom, and then they started running around the campus, throwing trash cans through the window and setting shit on fire and flipping cars over and the whole 9 yards. And it was full-blown amazing riot, right? And then the school police ended up rounding a bunch of us up. But before that happened, I have to express this part because my friend Daniel Click until it goes click. Now, if you're getting my latest emails, this will make a lot of sense. If you'll read that Bible verse in the Bible that I've shared in Daniel about how the microwaves or it will spread to the seed of man, miry clay or iron wrapped in miry clay or whatever. You got it. Okay, I'm not real good at quoting the Bible. I'm a visionary. I'm not a wordinary. Okay, so that's kind of a conflict for me. I'm more into. I've got a photographic memory, so it's in there. It just doesn't come out, and that's why using photographs and Gmail and time-stamped emails and all that really works for me in terms of delivering a message, because I have a really bad memory as far as words go, but it's there visually, right? So that's hard for some people to understand. All right, it's. I think that means I have a higher IQ than most people. Is what I think it means. Autism. You ever heard of autism? Their brain computes at such a level that they can't function normally, right? But they're tens of thousands of times smarter than the average person. They're actually, the reason that they're considered retarded is because they're extremely smart. There's so much information going through their mind at one time that they can't function. Well, I'm slightly autistic. I'm like a functioning visionary autistic that has to type. I'm better at typing than making videos, except for every once in a while in the Rockefeller video where Lucifer obviously took over during that video and basically explained to the world why you probably don't want to use cinnamon to attack Lucifer, right? So that's what happened in the Rockefeller video, which was amazing as far as I'm concerned. So you know how people say, "Hey, I'm going to get out of the way, let the Lord take over and channel through me." That was Lucifer doing that in that Rockefeller video. So it was a pretty good playbook there, actually. Considering that this, Godzilla versus Kong, this techno beast is actually worse than Lucifer. Then you got God and Lucifer working together to destroy the thing that's worse than Lucifer. which isn't Jesus, by the way. They didn't have technology when Jesus was on the planet back in the day. There was no technology around when Jesus was first walked the earth, right? So you can say that this new technology is supposed to be Jesus if you want. It could be. It could be a derivative of Jesus. It could be Jesus-like. It could be God. I mean, it can be a lot of things. But what I'm getting at is the technology that attacked me. If you're going to try to say that that is Jesus, at first, Jesus doesn't attack people. And second, there wasn't technology around the first time that Jesus was here, right? Not that kind of technology, not man-made cinnamon. So at the riot that day, Daniel Click had a stick in his hand while Officer Schwanbach, which is a Nazi name, and he used to date the high school girls while he was a police officer there, so he is a bona fide pedophile. I know this for a fact, okay? 17-year-old girls, he was dating them while he was the police officer. I can line witnesses up there at Cowboy Church that'll tell you this all day long. All right, literally, the guy's a scumbag. Daniel Click had a stick, and he threw the stick through the front of Officer Schwanbach, the Nazi, who's on a bicycle, which is what you call the technology that hacked everybody's mind that's man-made. He threw the stick through the front of Schwanbach's front wheel on his bicycle, and he did a flip in the middle of this riot, right? Now go back to the Daniel verse in the Bible, right? All of this is a translation of Daniel, the whole thing. Everything I'm giving you is a translation of Daniel. All of it is. It is the translation for Daniel. All right. So, you know how they say the angels will come along later, and do you realize how hard it would be to translate the prophecies in Daniel to anything to the extent that I've translated it to that is absolutely perfection? When you read Daniel, see, Daniel was a visionary too. He's putting that in words is what I'm getting at here, right? So he had to take what he could understand, unbelievably understand it within his mind, and try to put it into words, which is hard to do. So that the angel later comes along and then translates what is in that hard to understand book in the Bible, because you've got a visionary back then and a visionary now who understands all of that very well, right? Flips over on the bicycle. Now here's the part that I was talking about the other day. For the Army, I won't get too much into detail here, where you're looking at the charts and then all of a sudden the numbers go through the roof, that part. While we were all lined up in a hallway at the high school because the cops rounded us up, we were getting cited for inciting a riot, right? So all of us were lined up. There was about probably 300 of us in this hallway that they caught. And we were all being cited. So I tell the guy next to me, I bump him, and I say, hey, you see that cop over there? This black police officer named Officer Hubbard. Really great guy, great cop. Not a pedophile, Nazi scumbag piece of shit. He was actually one of the better cops in the Alvin district there. And he also, I think he coached soccer. Great guy. Officer Hubbard, right? Hubbard. So I tell the buddy next to me, I said, hey, tell that cop there's something wrong with me in about 30 seconds, right? And he said, all right. And I was like, so I held my breath until I just about passed out, and I was like putting a lot of pressure on my face till I turned purple. And the cop comes up, and he goes, man, there's something wrong with this guy. He said, what's wrong with you? I said, well, I was on my way to the nurse's office, and all this shit was going off, and I just feel horrible. I don't know what's wrong with me. He said, did you take any medicine today? I said, yeah, I took some this morning. He said, did you eat? I didn't take any medicine. He said, did you eat? And I said, no, I sure didn't. So that's probably what's wrong with you. Why don't you go to the nurse's office then? So I got out of the inciting the riot ticket. And then when my mom's listening to the police scanner at home, right, the NSA. So my mom's already knows that there's a riot going on at the high school because she heard it on the police scanner at the house. And as soon as I called her and I said, hey, I'm in the nurse's office, she said, oh, great job, I'm coming to get you. She had already figured out how to con my way out of that. True story. So that is part of the package that I gave you in the emails the other day, where your charts are, where if you wanted a power grab hustler lawnmower style with a new pyramid behind you, and you wanted to absolutely devastate the entire power structure using silent orders in the military, all you need to do is something similar to that, which is in the playbook. Right. So, just thought I'd share all that.